So we're going to start in standing facing the tall side of the chair, and have your block on the ground, like low side, but long ways so that you could place your foot on it. And then we're just going to step right around the edges of the block just so it's there ready for us. And then just for a second, we're going to ground. So hands on the chair, just a light touch. If it feels comfortable to do so, close your eyes down or just soften your gaze. Maybe focus your eyes on a single point. And then just give yourself a moment. Take a nice, gentle inhale. A slow but natural exhale. On your next inhalation, imagine you're lifting just a little bit taller up through the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, let your knees be slightly soft and let your feet get slightly heavier into the ground. And then there's going to be that like little fluid lift. So as you inhale, lift a little taller, maybe your knees straighten a little bit. And then as you exhale, let your knees soften and let your feet get heavy. Inhale, reaching up through the crown of your head. Exhale, softening into your feet. And just take 2 more cycles of breath like that. And then right away, before we move or engage to anything else, take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And then with that intention set, eyes opened or closed, totally up to you. But as you inhale, just let your toes lift away from the floor and then spread your toes as wide as you can, little engagement of the feet. And then as you exhale, just let your toes soften back down to the ground. Inhale and let your toes lift, spread your toes as wide as you can. Exhale and let your toes soften down. One more like that. Inhale, lift your toes, spread your toes. Exhale to soften your toes down. And then we're going to move into a little pedaling of the feet. So here, eyes open or closed again. It's totally up to you. But you're going to pick up one heel, bending one knee, and then switching over to the other foot. And let this be a slow and fluid movement, like you're really trying to work through the bottom of the feet. And then just finding a little slow rhythm here. So it feels gentle and mindful in the body. You'll feel that little subtle rocking side to side, but stay tall through your spine. And if you've got that motion pattern down, if you open your eyes to find it and now you've got it, maybe close your eyes down for a moment just so you can tune in. Notice how your feet feel. Maybe notice the texture of your mat or the carpet or the bare floor underneath your feet. Maybe notice that subtle exchange. So as your heel lifts, you might notice the cool air on the sole of your foot. One more pedal of each leg. And then let both heels come back down to the ground. And then we're just going to find this subtle lean forward and back. So heart's going to come forward. You might feel a little weight into the toes and the balls of the feet, and then lean back just a little bit. And you let your handholds help support you so you can get into this movement without feeling unsettled or like you might fall over in one direction or the other. Take one more time forward and back. And then find the middle of that position and then start to rock a little side to side. So bringing just a slight bit of weight or energy to the blade edge of one foot and then to the blade edge of the other. Nice. One more each side. And then just look down at the ground, make sure your block feels like it's in a good place. And then we're going to start to step onto the block. So we're going to alternate our step. One foot's going to step up, set it down. Over to the other side, foot's going to step up, set it down, and then switch over to the other side. So find a little rhythm here. And then once you've got that down, if you can help it, gaze forward. So you're not looking at where the block is, you know where it is. Make sure your foot feels like it's solid on it before you lift. And then the next time your left foot comes onto the block, stay there. And then we're just going to get a little pendulum swing. So we're just going to let the right leg swing loosely out of the hip socket. So, but if it feels like you're kind of dipped into your hip or that right hip is dropping down towards the earth, keep your hips fairly level, but let your leg be heavy. And then just find that nice little gentle swing forward and back. And just be mindful of where your chair is so you don't kick your chair or injure your toe. Nice. One more swing forward and back. And then set that foot down and we're going to switch to the other side. So right foot's going to step onto the block, find that lifted up position, keep your hips fairly square, and then just find that nice gentle pendulum swing forward and back. And then again, be mindful. You only want to swing so far so that you're feeling that heaviness in the leg, but not so far that you kick your chair. Awesome. One more swing forward and back, and then set that foot down. We're going to come back to that left foot on the block. And now we're going to take it into our hip dip. So start by finding that level set where your feet feel like they're both level in position. And then you're just going to drop your foot down off the edge of the block with your hip. So rather than bending your standing leg, you're just going to dip your hip down and then hike your hip up. Maybe your heel comes up a little higher than the other one on the block. Drop your hip down, hike your hip up. One more here, drop your hip down, hike your hip up, and then find a neutral position with the hips. So hips are square. And now we're going to bend the standing leg so the heel touches down to the ground, and then press into the block to rise up. Keeping your hips level, bend your standing leg, touch down to the ground, and then push yourself back up. Nice. One more just like that. Bend down, foot touches the ground, come back up. And now we're going to shift a little bit. So you might want to make sure you have a good hold of your chair. We're going to push the heel forward. So the heel is going to tap forward and then pull it right back up. Heel is going to come forward as you bend your standing leg and then pull it back up. Beautiful. One more just like that. Heel comes forward, bend your standing leg, come back up. Nice. And now we're going to touch the foot behind. So think a little bit of a mini lunge, and that standing knee might come past your toe just a little bit, but that's okay. It's safe to do so as long as it feels comfortable in your body. One more just like that. Nice. And then set that foot down. Take a second to shake out your standing leg. And then we'll take it to the other side. Step your right foot onto the block. Level out your heels so that you feel like you're in that even position. And then we're hip dipping. So we're dropping the heel down, using the hip to dip, and then hiking the hip up just a little bit so the heel comes higher than the one on the block. Drop your heel down, hips dip, and then lift it up. Drop your heel down and lift up. Awesome. And then find a neutral position. And now we're going to bend the standing leg so the foot touches down to the ground. Push into the block to rise up. Bend your standing leg, foot touches the ground. Lift yourself back up. Awesome. One more just like that. Bend the standing leg, foot touches the ground. Lift yourself up. And now heel is going to come forward, bending the standing leg, and then step it back up and in. Heel comes forward and then up. Heel comes forward and then up. Nice. And then now we're going to take it back. Toe is going to touch back and lift up. Toe is going to touch back and lift up. Toe touches back and lift up. Beautiful. Set that foot down, step your right foot off. Woo! Give your knees a little bounce, give your hips a little wiggle, and then step your right foot slightly ahead of the left. So we have a little staggered stance, and we're going to just do some hula hoops here. So we're going to draw our hips in nice, big, generous circles, go in one direction. One more time around. And then we're going to switch our stance. So step your right foot back, left foot forward, and then draw your hips in circles, go in the opposite direction that you were going. So if you were going to the right, go to the left here. Beautiful. One more circle around. And then we're going to walk it back to a down dog. So hands on the chair, start to walk your feet back. Find that nice V shape with the body, and then invite a little softness into your knees. So if your legs are super straight, bend your knees just a little bit so that you can bring a little bit more awareness into the upper body. So think middle back, shoulders, arms, armpit, chest. Let your head become a little heavy. Take a few nice deep breaths here. And as you breathe here, can you tune in and notice the side ribs, and then draw a line to the back side of the ribs. So noticing your ribs through the back of your body, and just notice the movement of breath there. Take one more breath. Beautiful. Soften your knees, look forward, walk yourself up. And now we're going to take our block, pick it up, and we're going to put it between our inner thighs or between the knees. So we're going to do it at the skinny setting. So we're going to place that block at the skinny setting, and I'm going to face the tall side of my chair. But once you've got your block in place, take a second to just make sure your feet feel even on the ground. And then we're going to put a little squeeze on that block, and you're actually going to squeeze like you're trying to push the block forward and shoot it out between your thighs. So give a little squeeze to your glutes, a little curl of the tailbone under, as if you're trying to push the block forward, and then relax that position. Put a little squeeze on the block, squeeze your glutes, push the block forward, and then release. One more just like that. Put a little squeeze on the block like you're pushing the block forward, and then release, and then finding that semi-neutral position, but still holding on to that block. Now we're going to take it into a little chair pose. So we're going to keep the inner thighs engaged, holding that block in place. Sit your butt down and back. Nice. And then rise up with a gentle bit of control. Sit your butt down and back. And then rise back up. Beautiful. One more just like that. Sit your butt down and back. And now we're going to stay here for a moment. Bring your weight slightly into your heels. Draw your tailbone down slightly, and then notice if it feels like that drawing down hugged into the inner thighs a little bit. So you might feel a little bit of firmer engagement on the block. And then once you feel like you found a little awareness of your solar plexus, reach your arms out just straight from the shoulders. And you always have the option to put one hand on the chair if you need it for balance. So do the thing that's most supportive to you. And then keeping this position, but can you sink your butt just a little bit lower, so you might feel your quads fire up just a little bit more. Then rise up 1 little inch, and then sink your butt down 1 little inch. Rise up 1 inch, sink down 1 inch, rise up 1 inch, sink down 1 inch. Nice. And then bring your hands to the chair, rise all the way up, grab your block. Woo, that is a lot of work. Pump out your legs, give everything a little wiggle. And now we're going to come down to a seated position. So spin your chair around or spin yourself around, whatever works good for you. But as you come down to your chair, scoot your butt way forward so you have plenty of room to move. Nice. Feet about hip width distance apart. We're going to move right into a cat-cow. Hold on to your knees. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale and around your back. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Take 3 more cycles of breath. Just move with your breath's rhythm here. Beautiful. And then once you've completed your cycles of breath with a nice tall neutral spine, right hand's going to reach across to the left knee, but then we're going to pull the shoulder back. So we're going to get a little leverage against the outside of the knee or the outside of the thigh. And as you pull the shoulder back, now we're going to turn your head, look over that shoulder, take a nice big breath, but it's an active turn. So you might feel the muscles in your neck working. And now we're going to turn the head in the opposite direction. So you're going to keep your leverage against that knee, keep that shoulder pulled back, turn your head in the opposite direction. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Head's going to turn back to center. Release that arm, shrug out that shoulder, and then we're going to take it to the other side. So hand's going to reach across. You're going to find that little bit of leverage, but then once you've got your handhold, pull the shoulder back. And then once you're there, turn your head, look over that shoulder, but it's an active position, so you'll feel the muscles in your neck. Nice. And then release, turn your head and look over in the other direction. Beautiful. Head returns to center. Relax, shrug out that shoulder. Cool. And now we're going to take it into a seated twist. So now right hand's going to reach all the way over and across, left hand comes behind you, and let the whole torso rotate as well. Think about getting nice and tall on your inhalation and softening a little bit on your exhalation. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release, unwind, take it over to the other side. Catch hold of your knee, catch hold of the back of your chair. Take one more breath. And then unwind, come back to center. Now we're going to toe heel the feet out just a little bit wider so that we can step the heels forward. So if toes are going to lift up away from the floor, so you have this nice bent knee position. And then we're just going to take it into a little fold. So just let your hands kind of glide down your shins, down towards the ground, soft and round through the back of the body. And just make sure that your butt feels comfortable on the chair so you feel supported. But then once you feel like you're there, soften, let go of the back of your neck. See if you can come back to that awareness of breath in the back of your body, noticing the backside of your ribs and maybe even the sides of your ribs, but just feel that movement of breath in your ribs. Take one more breath. And then when you feel ready, come up nice and slow. Walk your hands up your legs, step your feet in. So now they're about hip width distance apart, and then find your seated mountain pose. Feet firmly planted on the ground, arms come down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your side. Left hand is going to stay touching the chair. Right hand's going to reach up. Take a gentle side bend. Beautiful. Lift it up. Take it over to the other side. Right hand touches down. Left hand reaches up. Lean over. Nice. Bring it back up to center. Both hands down at your sides. Find your mountain pose again. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, we're going to fold. So think about lifting your heart and then diving the heart forward. Inhale to a half forward fold, hands glide to the shins. Exhale to soften down, pull the abdominal muscles in, roll up nice and slow and controlled. Roll your shoulders all the way up to your ears, roll them around, down and back, come back to mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, pull the abdominal muscles in, roll up through the spine, roll your shoulders up to your ears, around, down and back. Come back to mountain pose. One more just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, pull the abdominal muscles in, roll up nice and slow, roll your shoulders up to your ears, around, down and back. And now we're going to take the left arm and bring it across the body. Grab the back side of your arm, drop your shoulder down so it's just softening away from the ear, and then take 3 nods of your head up and down here. Beautiful. When you're ready, bring your chin to a neutral position, release that arm, and then we're going to switch to the other side. So grab the back of the arm, drop the shoulder down away from the ear, and then once you've got a nice handhold, come back to that nodding of the head up and down. About 3 good nods up and down. Nice. And then when you're ready, head comes to neutral, release back to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, and we're going to just take it right up the right leg. So we're going to slide up the leg, bring the knee up to the chest, give a light little squeeze, release it right away, come back to mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, take it up the left leg. Just slide your hands up, grab your knee, pull it up to the chest, give a light little squeeze. Beautiful. And then release it back to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Now we're going to take left hand over to the right shin. Right hand's going to reach up for a light little twist. And then right away, release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee up to the chest, a light little squeeze. Beautiful. And then release back to mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches for a little twist. And then right away, bring it down. Slide up that shin, bring the knee to the chest, a light little squeeze. Beautiful. And then release back to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, hands meet chest, lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches up to the sky. Release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee to the chest. This time, bring your nose to your knee. And then when you're ready, release back to your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, hands meet chest, lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches to the sky. Nice, and then release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee to the chest, bring your nose to your knee. And then when you're ready, release back to your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, we're gonna bring the hands to heart center, interlace the fingers, flip the palms, press them forward. And then we're gonna take a little bit like cat and cow breath here, but keeping those palms flipped and facing forward. So we're gonna round through the back, push the palms forward, tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale and just draw the shoulder blades back, look up to the sky. Round and push forward. Come back to a fairly neutral spine and keep that interlaced fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your chin. One more just like that. Round and push forward. Bring the shoulders back, lift your chin slightly. And then in a neutral position, you might even soften your elbows a little bit. Bring the arms up and overhead. And then once you have a good position for your shoulder blades, straighten the arms, press the palms upward towards the ceiling. Make sure your feet are nice and anchored on the ground. Take a little side bend one way. Beautiful. Come back to center. Take a little side bend the other way. Come back to center, unlace your fingers, float your arms all the way down. Woo, roll your shoulders around, down and back. Awesome. And now we're going to take it into our little figure four. So grab one knee, grab one heel, externally rotate, and then just rock that leg a little side to side. Beautiful. And then taking it into your figure four. So just a little for at home folks who might be doing it via YouTube. If this figure four across the thigh doesn't work for you, you always have the option to use your block. You would place it to the opposite foot inside the ankle. You might keep it on the low setting, so you have an external rotation there. You might choose a medium setting, same thing, but it just brings a little bit more lift, or the higher setting. So if across the leg doesn't work good for you, you can still find an external rotation here and take your fold. Just a little for the at-home people. But if you've got your figure four across, wherever is working good for you, think about getting nice and tall. Think pulling the belly up and over, lift your chest, and then as you exhale, lean your heart forward. Go just as far as feels comfortable, maybe hopefully finding a little sensation through the outer edge of your hip with that bent knee and the external rotation. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, think about lifting up through the top of your head. Let your heart follow. We're going to gently lift that leg off. Give it a nice little gentle rock side to side just to kind of soothe it all out. Awesome. And then when you're ready, set that foot down and we're going to take it right to the other side. Nothing fancy, just pick up your knee, pick up your heel. If you're using a block, go ahead and set it up in any way that works good. And you're never needing to be symmetrical here. So if one side has some issues and it needs a little extra support, feel free to do on one side what's different than the other, just so your body feels supported. When you feel ready, bring it into your figure four, set yourself up so you feel good and comfortable. And then when you feel ready, think about lifting up through the crown of your head, hinge from your waist, lean forward, and go to a depth that feels right to you. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, lift up through the crown of your head, let your heart follow, come up gently, lift that leg off wherever it is, rock it a little side to side. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, set that foot down and we're going to scoot your butt forward just so you can take a couple of gentle windshield wipers here, rocking everything out, evening out the hips. Nice. One more little windshield wiper side to side. And then we want to make sure that our butt is close to the edge of the chair, but still nice and firm. So you have plenty of support underneath you. And we're going to take opposite hand, opposite foot. So left leg, right hand are going to reach up and lift. And then lower that back down with control, switching sides. So right leg, left hand is going to lift. And then release it down. Back to that original side. Lift up. And lower down. And switch. Lift up. And lower down. Now, same hand, same foot. So left hand, left foot is going to lift and lower down. Same hand, same foot. Right hand is going to lift and lower down. Beautiful. And then lean back into your seat just a little bit. Pick up both legs. Hold it there for a second. So your hands are giving you support. So you don't have to do too much work here, but hold it there if you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Lower your feet down. Give your legs a little shake out. And then scoot your butt back in your seat so your butt feels really good and supported. And then once you're there, take a second to find that nice tall uplifted spine again. We're going to drop right ear over to right shoulder, just letting the ear get nice and heavy. Roll your chin across your chest and take it over to the other side. Left ear to left shoulder, let your ear get nice and heavy. Roll your chin down to your chest, and then we're just going to make some little figure eights here. So just a little gentle rocking of the head side to side. Beautiful. One more little rock of the head side to side, and then bring your head up to a neutral position. And then we're just going to smush our face around. So eyes closed and just kind of mush your lips around, wiggle your cheeks, wiggle your eyes, wiggle your forehead, wiggle your eyebrows. Just let everything kind of have a little bit of little organic movement, just kind of smushing around. And then keeping your lips together, you're going to puff out your cheeks like you're blowing bubbles into your cheeks. And then when you're ready, let all that air go and then start to walk your butt back in your seat, getting nice and comfortable. So you're going to just let your butt sit way back in your chair, snuggle your shoulders down, make sure your feet feel good and comfortable. And again, just for anybody who's working from the YouTube video, if the floor does not come up to meet your feet, you always have an option to place the block underneath your feet so that you feel like your feet are good and supported. Once you feel like you've got a good soft position with your body, close your eyes down or just soften your gaze, maybe focus on a single point. And we take a few moments of stillness here, or a reasonable amount of stillness that makes sense in your body to let your mind and your body incorporate all the work that you've just done. Keeping your eyes closed if you can. Just start to feel your feet connected to the floor. Feel your legs heavy in your seat. And then we're just going to take one hand or the other, totally up to you, but either index finger or middle finger, whichever, preferably whichever has the shortest nail. And then we're going to take whatever finger works good, index finger, middle finger, that's totally up to you. But we're going to find that little groove right between where your lip and your nose meet. So there's that little ridge, that little indentation. So that's what we're shooting to find. And then you're going to push in and upward. So you're going to find that little groove, push in and then upward towards the nose, and then soften your facial muscles as best you can. And then using your hand, you're just going to draw little tiny circles, pushing in and upward. Be gentle and mindful. You don't have to hurt yourself here, but just a little gentle pressure from that finger, drawing some circles in one direction, keeping your face soft, keeping your cheeks soft, keeping your eyes closed if you can. And then take that finger, draw it in circles, but go the other way. Nice. Take one more circle around and then release your hand. Lift your back away from your seat, lifting up nice and tall, and then walk yourself forward in your chair so that you're centered on your chair, feet are firm on the ground, and a nice tall lifted spine. Beautiful. Bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, eyes closed down, or soften your gaze, whichever works better for you. Take a nice, gentle inhale. Nice, slow exhale. Inhale, breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. Take another nice big inhale. And I send my love and gratitude out for you. Thank you so much for sharing your morning with me. When you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy, happy Wednesday.